Unitarian Universalist congregations. I got a fair number of people on the bus having a look here. So I'll let them see the signs. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so it's not so bad. Anyhow, let's see if this thing's still recording, because it does have a bad tendency to shut off accidentally. Oh yeah, we're still going. We're still going here. So, just continue to walk back and forth. I don't know how much longer I'm going to protest. I guess I'll take a look at my timepiece and decide how much longer I want to protest. I'll probably let the full half hour worth of video record before I end the protest, assuming it doesn't stop automatically again. So, it's unfortunate I missed recording one or two aspects of this protest. I really don't know how much was not recorded, but I hope I got most of the things I had to say about my efforts to persuade the new UUA president, Reverend Susan Frederick Gray, that it's in the best interests of the Unitarian. Good day, sir.
Yeah, why are you doing that?
Protesting against clergy abuse and cover-up of clergy abuse and misuse.
What kind of abuse?
Well, it includes sexual abuse of children.
Yeah?
Not here locally. I'm not saying there's none, but what I'm saying is what I'm talking about is other churches in the same religious community.
Okay.
So I have a blog, and I blogged about some cases in the United States with this Unitarian Universalist religious community.
Mm-hmm.
And the main headquarters of the church.
Where is it located?
Boston.
In Boston?
Yeah, they hired a Canadian law firm to have me served with a legal letter. And the legal letter accused me of violating Canada's blasphemy law. So they basically said, take down those blog posts about pedophiles or rapists, or you go to jail. So I said, fuck you, basically. No, it's just an incredibly stupid thing to do. But, you know, they literally accused me of blasphemy in the 21st century Canada because they wanted to hide pedophilia and rape. So I think that's something to protest.
Good work.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Good day. Yeah. So, yeah, good work. So here's a passerby, sees my protest. I give him the basics, and he tells me good work. And actually, I think a lot of Canadians would say good work when they knew all the facts. And yes, it's truly insane. Okay, we got some people on the bus here having a good look at the signs. No, even got a wave and a smile. So, anyhow, you know, some of these people might have come by on the bus quite a few times. You know, it might not be their first time coming by on the bus. And anyhow, yeah, so today, you know, we're getting plenty of supportive comments from the public. I haven't had a negative one that I can think of. So at least, you know, 3 or 4 positive responses today. And to date, I can't think of any negative disapproving response yet. So at least not from the public. It's always a good day when I'm accused of blasphemy.
You're doing something right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I figured. You know, they actually hired a lawyer to accuse me of violating Canada's blasphemy law to get rid of blog posts about pedophiles.
They're not a church, they're a sect.
Well, yeah, they're basically a sect. I was just talking about that.
Yeah, they're not a church.
They're not a real church, I'd say. Most of them are atheists. So. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for your interest. Yeah. And the laughter. Yeah, always good to have a good laugh with these idiots. So yeah, you know, I tell this guy that I'm being accused of blasphemy in the 21st century, and he's basically laughing. He thinks it's funny, and it is. You know, on one level, it is funny. It's hilarious, but especially when it's atheist Unitarians who are you know, making the blasphemous libel accusation against me. But of course, it's also quite despicable, if I can borrow a phrase from, or a word from Maitre Marc-Andre Coulombe, pretty despicable to falsely accuse someone of violating Canada's blasphemy law and legal bullying that's clearly intended to cover up and deny child sex abuse committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers and Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teachers and a certain Unitarian Universalist layperson by the name of Richard Buell of First Parish Norwell. That's the despicable side of it, the disgusting side of it, the truly insane side of it. But, you know, hey, if you want to accuse someone of blasphemy in 21st century Canada for any reason whatsoever, well, you're going to look a little bit silly. And Unitarian Universalists certainly do have egg on their face for falsely accusing me of blasphemous libel. And yeah, so far, so good for today's protest. Almost 100% positive response from the public so far. Even the one Unitarian who I spoke with was essentially not in any way dismissing the protest. You know, he was basically wanted to know what the facts were and so on. He in no way responded in a negative, dismissive manner. He even said a few things that I totally agree with. You know, that yes, you know, it does require dialogue to resolve the issues, and it does also require an apology at minimum. You know, there's other things that need to be done, but an apology, a clear acknowledgement that yes, we screwed up badly, and yes, we're sorry for that. You know, yes, we truly regret this. You know, show some real remorse. That needs to happen, and it hasn't happened yet. So just stubbornly unapologetic Unitarian Universalists, as they always have been from the beginning of this protest. You know, this protest would not have even begun if Reverend Ray Drennan had properly apologized for his insulting and defamatory attacks on me, and so on. You know, I've always given Unitarians the opportunity to apologize before taking any action, and they've always refused. Always, consistently, stubbornly, and continuously refused to apologize for obvious wrongdoing, obvious intolerant and abusive, immoral and unethical, even you know, borderline criminal behavior. You know, they just refuse to acknowledge any wrongdoing. Just very, very stubbornly self-righteous, I guess. Although there's really no basis for them to be self-righteous. So we'll just continue to circulate here. But I'm noticing the people in the cars are having a good look at the picket signs this morning. That's not always the case. You know, sometimes they're just driving by, not really having a good look at the picket signs. But this morning, for some reason, a good number of people in cars and buses and trucks have actually been having a good look at the picket signs. So we'll continue to circulate here, coming towards the end of a half-hour segment of video. Let's see where we are. Okay, we got about 4 minutes left. A little bit less than 4 minutes. So I'm debating whether I continue to protest. I think I've done very well for myself so far. So I may just call it a day. Let's have a look at the timepiece here. And it's 11:06. Yeah, so I normally wrap up the protest at 11, so I think we're done. We're just going to start gathering up the picket signs, and we're going to call it a day. We've had a good hour and a half plus worth of protesting this morning. We've got well over an hour's worth of video recording of the protest. I got about 3 minutes left here, but yeah, we're done today. This is it. We're not going to stick around longer. I do actually have other things I could be doing, so we're going to go do them. But I'm very happy with today's protest. Went really well. Nobody assaulted me. Nobody stole my picket signs. Nobody insulted me. Nobody gave me a finger. Which reminds me, I'm going to have to deal with that. Last Sunday, some idiotic guy entering the church gave me the finger. So I'll have a little bit of fun with that, with some appropriate feedback. And yeah, ticket signs in the bag. Just pick up the chalk. And we're done for Sunday, the 30th of July, 2017. We'll just have a last little look here at the chalk slogans, at least the two nearest ones. Unitarians cover up and deny pedophilia and rape. I think I've adequately explained how they do that. And it's, by the way, not just that misuse of blasphemy law. There's been other, previous cover-ups and so on. They've been hiding this stuff or minimizing it for a long time. Really doing their best to keep it hidden as much as possible. They obviously can't totally hide it, because in some cases people have been charged, tried, and convicted and sentenced to jail terms, and this is being reported in newspapers, so they obviously can't get rid of the newspaper articles, at least to the best of my knowledge they can't. But they can certainly try to, suppress me and other people from discussing, what actually happened, even though it is in newspaper reports, most of which aren't on the internet. They still, like, that's the crazy thing about this whole blasphemous libel accusation, is they were actually trying to conceal pedophilia and rape, where people had been charged, tried, and convicted and sentenced to jail terms and went to jail for some years. And this was reported in newspapers, and all I did was report, what could be read in newspapers. And yet they're saying that my blog posts are unfounded and vicious and constitute blasphemous libel, blah, 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 just to try to intimidate me into removing the blog posts, or maybe even punish me for making them. If I did refuse, they could have tried to have me charged. They could have taken a court. Now, it was such bullshit that it would have been thrown out if they did try to have me charged, but nonetheless, they tried.